two people had made a promise to themselves before they met that they were not going to allow any other connections to jeopardize their freedom or their financial stability. You decide which one you are in this scenario if this reading is for you. And I feel like there's a chance for reconciliation coming up in this connection. So I'm wanting to find out, what is it that could be done in this situation to allow both parties to feel safe and to not get into a point where they're building resentment against the other for either causing them to move to a place where they would be financially unstable, or for them to, the other person, to move to a place where they would be emotionally unsatisfied. So we're trying to find out if there is a chance for reconciliation with you and this person. Is there any solution to this problem with the Nine of Wands in reverse and the Two of Wands? What is the solution here for reconciliation? We have the Knight of Wands. Split to Justice. That's interesting. What's coming in quickly? King of Cups. Been picking up on water sign energy. We have the Page of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the King of Cups out. What would make this situation better? Interesting. Like, split to the Ace of Swords again, with Justice on the bottom. Feels like there's a conversation where a lot of truth is going to come out regarding this connection. And so this reading is kind of to prepare you for that conversation. So we have Judgment, the Nine of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. Pretty much exactly what I said. One person was really mentally torn up by things not working out with this connection. There's a desire to be close with each other, but there is so much stubborn fear and pain that is making both of you so stubborn that you're not even like communicating. And I don't feel like there was a lot of communication about all of this. I feel like this is just things that you're starting to come to an understanding of now that you've been in separation from this person for quite some time. I'm also getting here that one person was very emotionally confused about which direction they were going in. But I feel that with the Judgment card here, there is an understanding that forgiveness needs to be had about someone not knowing what direction they wanted to go in, and their emotions were just Four of Cups, Seven of Cups. Very disconnected emotionally, like emotionally unavailable, and just really confused and unsure of what direction they were going to go in. And I get that this just completely ate up the other person mentally. So maybe one is a water sign, maybe one is an air sign. Doesn't have to be. If you relate to this reading, then you relate to this reading. I feel that one person's insecurities really made this person, like, could have been Aquarius energy, the Star there, or Leo, and the Fool, this Aquarius energy. I'm getting that there was so much obsessive thoughts that the feminine has had in this about, you know, why this couldn't be, because it felt so true, right, balanced, or had the potential to be. If you could take the pain out of the equation for both of these people, then it's like the perfect balance of head and heart, air and water. What will help this situation be available for reconciliation? Death. Transformation, true transformation has got to take place. I'm picking up that the feminine in this really been doing really well financially. I feel like, if you're the feminine in this, then I feel that you've been really focusing on your finances, because that was a promise that you made to yourself before you ever met this person. If I'm talking to the feminine in this. But there really has got to be, like, Scorpio and Scorpio cards. And Scorpio. 3 Scorpio cards right in a row. The only way that there can be reconciliation is if both people are willing to undergo a deep transformation. There's definitely a conversation that really needs to be had to balance out the situation. What else will help the situation for reconciliation? Page of Wands. Split to the Queen of Wands. It really feels like there is never been a lack of interest or spark. It feels like the feminine's confidence has really, really gone up a lot. And it feels like there's a message coming in here. What will help with reconciliation? Did any flip over? I don't think so. We have the 2 of Swords coming out. It feels like one person was refusing to see that the other was not capable of meeting them where the other was at. And so they remained blindfolded to this and just kept hoping that it was going to happen. And I'm also picking up that someone had their blindfold on and were so resistant to changing and growth that they just wanted to continue to sort of stew in their past. And so it's just this impasse. What will help reconciliation? Knight of Swords, a conversation. A conversation has got to happen here. What else? The World. There needs to be an end to the cycle of lacking communication. There is a dire need for truth to come out here in this situation. Maybe you went through a few rounds with this person of trying to get this relationship off the ground. We have that you guys have got to use the tools that you already possess and take the actions necessary. There is definitely a potential here for the old cycle to be completed and a lot of lessons learned and integrated here. There is magic in this connection. And there is seriously an opportunity to reconcile in this situation. What will help with that? What will help with reconciliation? Ace of Pentacles in reverse. That's that missed opportunity. that was had here. So it feels like there needs to be a discussion about, look, a healing conversation, Temperance. There needs to be, I feel like there's a huge communication blockage in this connection. There's a whole lot of fixed sign energy as well. Very, very stubborn energy. There needs to be communication about, there needs to be an understanding of why someone passed this opportunity up. Because there was one person, especially one person that was emotionally disconnected. They were depressed. They were looking back at you as they walked away from you, or vice versa. If you're the person that walked away from this person, it was like with that Eight of Cups, it really feels like there was not a desire to walk away from this connection, but there was a need to protect. This person probably felt like they needed to protect themselves from getting set up for another disappointing connection that ends with them losing out on emotional fulfillment because they give it to the other person. I don't know if this is making sense, but there needs to be action taken about this missed opportunity here. There is a call for action. It feels like one person is really feeling like they're supposed to be making movement about this. It feels like one person is really contemplating how much they're needing to say something about this missed opportunity. They're needing to take some kind of action to communicate this. Queen of Pentacles. If you're the one that Strength card, I feel like the feminine in this could have really felt like it was really difficult to stay away from this connection and to just keep the focus on the finances, keep the focus on remaining financially stable. It feels like the feminine in this has really gained a lot of strength and confidence back, and Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, it just really feels like the feminine in this is really focused on the financial. Split back to the Ace of Swords. I feel like the feminine is really coming into clarity about the fact that this had nothing really to do with you or them. It had everything to do with feeling the need to protect oneself from experiencing another connection that feels like it ends in death. You know, sometimes having to grieve people that are still alive is so extremely painful. It feels like it's really been tearing up one person. They probably have a lot of difficulty with sleeping. Okay, so we have the King of Wands in reverse with the Ten of Wands. It feels like not taking action and continuing to stew in pride and ego is really putting a burden on the masculine in this connection. It feels like with the Magician and the Ace of Pentacles, there is a need to communicate, rectify the missed opportunity. So, yeah, like internally conflicted, very internally conflicted, and that caused an external issue between the two of you. The dam is bursting, okay, with this Ten of Wands. ignoring the elephant in the room can't continue. It's going to have to be addressed. Five of Wands. It's literally eating someone alive from the inside out. I am telling you. Queen of Swords. Be truthful. Hold your boundaries. Say what needs to be said. I just saw 6 of Wands, and that could lead to a victory here in this situation. I really feel like there's a very strong chance that reconciliation could happen here in this situation. So I'll try to continue to tap into this energy because I feel like this is a really interesting storyline. So yeah, we'll see what happens here, or if Spirit has anything more to say about this situation. Follow me and I will let you know if we have more information to share about this specific connection. So if you feel like this has been a reading just for you, it was. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you need a personal reading, I'd be happy to give you one. The link is in my bio. And good job on not allowing someone else to dictate your life path. It feels like with this Queen of Pentacles, there's a need for financial stability, and sometimes that needs to be prioritized over where someone wants to live or what would make someone else emotionally fulfilled. I think that seriously needs to be discussed. And if there is not any way to make a compromise, it really depends on what kind of energy this person comes back in with. Because if they are Death card transformed, if they're ready to transform this situation, you will be able to come up with a compromise. There will be a way for you to figure out how to move this connection forward in a way that leaves both people feeling good and will not lead to resentment building.